Hi, folks. The real Pat Gage here. I wanted to take a couple minutes here and go over this free resource that I'm offering. It's called the AI Integration Checklist. And basically, what this is a checklist you can go through and determine what areas of your business you want to, one, integrate AI with, or the areas of your business that need integration, right? You may not think it right now, but after looking at this list, it may bring those up to consideration. Let's take a look at this. I break this into several different modules, as I call them. One is the marketing and content area. And again, we give you a list of some suggestions of what marketing and content ideas, where you're maybe struggling. Are you struggling on email newsletters? Are you not getting those out enough or frequently enough to your prospects? Video script writing. And what you do here is check one or two areas that you want to focus on. And again, this is made to focus you in on what you need to do in your business. And again, this may be done with your whole team. You can do this with your team members. And then down the next box would be AI, the tool and method you're going to use, right? And that may take some research. You may not know right now what's a good tool to do blog post writing, right? Or content calendar planning. But at least you've chosen an area and you can go research it or watch my channel for it, right? And then also you get down here, then the last thing here on all these is, when are you going to implement it by? Have a date. Again, be looking forward towards something. We found that when you do that, most of this stuff will get done, right? If you have a goal, okay, I'm going to do, email newsletter. I'm going to find an AI tool that writes my email newsletters for me, or sends them out. Whatever it is, you put a date to it, it'll probably more than likely happen. And that's just in the marketing and content area. We do 5 different areas. We look at also sales and client acquisition. A lot of businesses here struggle with this. The first one, lead qualification and scoring, right? Are you getting in leads? How are you scoring your leads? Are you the only one doing it? We can talk about meeting schedules. We can talk about sales script creation. And again, pick one or two, focus on those, and then in the next box down, say, okay, which AI tool or method can you use? And you may not know that right now, like I said in the previous comments. Use that to, okay, I'm going to go research that. And again, we give you a timeline to implement it, right? You may want to put in maybe in the AI tools a method, don't know, have to research, but give me 3 weeks to do that. But if you sit down and say, okay, I want this implemented by the end of the first quarter, then that'll drive your things, right? Sales and content acquisition, that's this one here. And we go in and take a look at delivery and operations. How are you delivering that product or service? How are you taking care of the first bullet point? There's client onboarding sequences. What's your sequence of onboarding? Somebody buys, do you ship the product automatically? Is it a process with the register online? All that stuff. And a lot of this checklist will actually help you automate your systems and or put processes in place that you may not have had. Meeting recap summaries, quality checks and reviews. How are you checking to make sure that all this stuff is working? And again, we suggest AI tools and methods that you use. Again, write those down. They may not be the initial ones, but at least you're going in the right direction. And secondly, the timeline. When do I want to implement this client onboarding sequences? What tool am I going to use? I'm going to use, let's say, high level, whatever it is. When do you want it implemented by? Well, I want it implemented by, first quarter of, next year. And again, be realistic not only on your timelines, but on what you want to take on. Again, you can circle all of them, but you got to really be realistic and see which ones are really capable of doing. Because again, this is going to take your time, right? This is going to take your time to do. Then also we go into the administrative part of it. A lot of people forget about this side of the business. The administrative, the calendar management. What are you doing every day from 9 to 10? Email sorting and prioritization. expense calibration. This is kind of what we like to call a back end part of any business, right? Because if you're not optimizing your calendar, you're not being on enough phone calls, you're not hitting enough people, well then, invoicing is going to be tough because there's not going to be any invoicing, right? There's nobody buying your software, your system, or your product. You know, document formatting, all different stuff. And again, this is not an all-inclusive list. You can add your own to this, but I'm hoping that this free guide will help you, this free checklist will help you be more organized, be more direct in what you're doing. And again, writing down the tool or method you're going to use and giving it a deadline, giving it that I'm going to get this done by the fourth quarter, October 10th of whatever date, right? It gives you something to shoot for. Now, once you get that done, the next part of this video, or I should say this checklist, is okay, what are the top priorities, right? You selected in these different groups. What is your top priority? Do you have enough leads coming in? You really don't need to do anything with that. Or is it the back end, the administrative part? Find out which priority is higher. And we've given you 5 spaces here to go and figure that out. What is your higher priority? I don't have leads, right? That's where I hear a lot of investors. I don't have enough leads coming in. Okay, maybe that's your priority 1. And then you say, okay, what are you currently spending right now per week on lead acquisition? If you're doing 0, put 0, right? And then what tool can you use or method can you use to assist you in that? And then you take a look at what the savings are done by automation. Let's take a look at lead acquisition, right? Let's say you put an agent in to go and contact all your warm leads or all your leads, right? The AI tool would be AI, agent 1 or whatever it's called, whatever system that you're going to look at, or you're going to create your own on N8N, okay? What's the time savings, of doing that? In the beginning, you're probably going to have to guess, right? But once it goes live, and again, the next point here is when are we going to implement this, right? When am I going to put that agent in place in my company? What's the deadline? First quarter, third quarter? That's what you have to do, right? You've got to put deadlines out there. And then you also estimated setup time. How long is it going to take you to get that agent? Now, you may not do the agent yourself. You may hire somebody. You got to put that in there. And again, this is all designed, this checklist is all designed to move you to that next level, okay? You need the agent. You don't have to do the agent yourself. You don't have to build the agent yourself. You can hire people to do that, okay? But you also have to, when am I estimated to get it set up and running, okay? So once you have the priorities, you can do that, and then you would run through all that. And then what we do is on the next and last page here is figure out, hey, based on all these priorities, and again, you may only have one priority, right? You may not have all 5. Your main priority may be, hey, I want to get leads in the door. I want to outreach to people. Then that's what you do, okay? But you also look at what's the total time saved per week in hours, okay? If that outreach using an AI agent drops your time taking phone calls or making phone calls down to 5 and 6 and 10, let's say hours a week, down to 0, and all you're doing is opening your calendar and scheduling meetings that the AI already filtered through and put them on your calendar, how much of a saving is that for you? Okay. Now, then you got to think, okay, I've reclaimed all this time, right? Okay, what am I going to do with that reclaimed time? Okay, we're not going to go and sit on the couch and watch more binge Netflix, right? What are you going to do with that time? And we've given you some ideas there. And again, these are just suggestions. You can take them. You don't have to. But I thought that this would be a great resource for you. And again, this resource is free. It's the AI integration checklist. Let me get you back up to the top here. And you get this free. You just go to my website. It's opportunitycreator.com/courses, and it'll be in the courses. It's free. You'll have to give us your email address. We won't bother you that much. But again, this is an AI integration checklist to use in your business, or if you're starting a business, where to focus on and what AI tools can get you there faster, and not only faster, but more efficiently. You're not burned out every day because you're working in your business, right? There's so many AI tools out there that can help you, if not nothing else, getting more leads in the door. And again, this AI integration checklist is free. Visit our website at opportunitycreator.com/courses. And I'm Pat Gage, and we'll talk to you on the other side. Thank you very much for joining.